Hello, and welcome to Tuesdays with Terri. So today what I'm going to talk about is growing your circle of influence and the importance of networking. So networking is just so important. So there's this quote by Peter Voogd. It's in his book, 6 Months to Six Figures. And he says that your network and your circle of influence is going to make or break you. And he's one of my mentors when I first started off on this whole entrepreneur journey. So I really took this into consideration. And I actually was thinking, one of the things he says is, if you want to be a millionaire, then hang out with billionaires. And if you want to make six figures, hang out with millionaires, right? So it's interesting because this past 2018, I hung out with two billionaires. One of them was Tim Draper, and the other one was Voogd Khosla from Khosla Ventures. So that's kind of exciting. I can share more about that later. But I wanted to dive into the three tips on growing your circle of influence, because this is so important to your personal growth and to growing your business. Okay, so let's dive in. Okay, tip number 1. The first tip is to go to seminars and events. So it's really interesting. I've, been making it just a thing now that I do is every week I go into an in-person event. Because there's really, when you meet somebody in person, it's just, you feel closer to them, more bonded. So I love doing these in-person events. And I have found that when you do pay a little bit of money, even if it is, $15, $30, you do get people at the events that are a little bit more invested in themselves and their business. So I have gone to free events, and they've been really good too, with meeting people and, just expanding your network. But I think a lot of times you get what you pay for, and so going to free events, just the quality of people, which sometimes you land on a really good one and you get lucky. But when you do just pay that little bit of money for events, then you can really see the difference in people that you could potentially partner with, that could become your clients. So one of the events I attended recently was Brendon Burchard's Experts Academy. And oh my gosh, just, seeing Brendon on stage was just, it's just like he's doing it. He's walking the walk, he's talking the talk, he's really making it happen. So to be able to see somebody make it happen like that, it's inspiring already. So, he's, multiple $millions earner with his businesses. So just to see that, it's so inspiring. And he really started off, he says 10 years ago when he very first started, he would do events, and it'd be maybe 10 people. Most of them were for free that went there, friends and family. So, everyone starts somewhere, and to see, him starting off with the 10 people and then thousands of people were in the room, it was really inspiring. And the people I met there, man, amazing. So one of them, Niyc Pidgeon, I was in a mastermind group with her back in 2016, and we were all going around the circle talking about some of our goals, and one of the goals she had was to make $1 million, and she talked about launching her book, and now her book's been out for over a year. She's hit her $1 million mark and doing very, very well. So these are the type of people you meet when you go to these types of events. And I've met other people that I've stayed in contact with over the last couple months since the event ended, and it's just been so inspiring. So we actually created our own mastermind group that we meet every week and talk. So just being able to talk through what we're doing, how we're doing it, just different strategies. We're actually going on each other's live streams. I'm going to be on a podcast next week. So we're really just, leveraging each other's audience, which is just so amazing because you're around these people that want to, grow themselves, grow their business, and they're actively, doing that. So they have an audience. So if you don't have a big audience, this is great because, then you can leverage their audience. And so, a lot of times if they are in the personal development space, business space, just growing, then they're already growing their audience. You can leverage their audience so you guys can cross-promote. So actually, I was in Peter Voogd's Game Changers Academy Millionaire Mastermind call this morning. Man, and it was just so good. So who was it? Sean Channel, I think Channel. Hey, what's up? And so what he was talking about on his on the call this morning, he was just talking about the importance of partnering. So, he's in the YouTube game, so he talks about how to grow your YouTube. And he's doing so well. I think he just started this year and he's just blowing up and taking off. And so he talks about like PewDiePie, who's one of like the, biggest like YouTube names. She partners with other people that are in her industry that have like audiences. And so they kind of like make fun of each other and cross promote and then get on each other's channels. And so that's just so great. So that's one of the ways that you can grow your audience. Grow your circle of influence is to go to those seminars and those events where you're going to meet those like-minded people. Because if you are hanging out with people that, are at your level or not there yet, then you're not going to, be able to grow as much. So it's not saying you have to cut everybody off, but, just watch who you're spending your time with and making sure that you're spending your time with people that are going to help you grow. So this is very important for your own self-development and growing your business. Okay, so point number 2. So join coaching programs and monthly subscriptions, mastermind groups that you can build those relationships with. So when you have that relationship, so if you've invested in somebody, in somebody's program, then, they're more likely to shout you out on a podcast, more likely to, invite you to a Zoom, meeting. So it's just so important. And then, the people you'll meet it's just kind of similar to the events and the seminars. When you're in a place where you're invested, you're going to find other people that are invested in themselves and their business too. So that's the second tip, is to join those mastermind groups and those group programs. I know I've definitely gotten clients from being part of these groups. We're going through like a 4-month program together. We get to talk to each other, see each other in the group, on the calls. And just learn about each other, and knowing that we're all trying to better ourselves, grow our businesses. And so, they see that I do marketing, and, some of them are like Reiki energy healers, authors, speakers. And so they want to talk to me, so I can help them with their marketing. So you can get clients from it, not only, be inspired, and do some cross partnerships, but you can also get clients from it. Right. So it's amazing. All right, and so then the third point I'm going to talk about today is following and sharing. So like I had mentioned, that I did get to hang out with 2 billionaires this past year, which was super exciting. Like how random, but I really don't think there's anything that's random or coincidence. Like I think I've spoke these things into existence. So like Peter was saying, if you want to be a millionaire, then hang out with billionaires. And so, I'd love to be a millionaire one day. One of my goals, so I have that in the back of my mind, like subconsciously, that's kind of in there. And so, I just ended up, and then it's like you hear about things. So I heard Tim Draper was doing a block party in San Mateo. And so I was like, that's real close. I'm going to go check it out. And so I checked it out. He was at the blockchain. He actually had this silent headphone party. I don't know if you've been to one of those, but they are hilarious. You're like walking around, just seeing everybody dance. And there's actually 4 different songs going on, so it looks like everyone's dancing off beat. Maybe they are, and then it's just a good cover up for them. But so I got to actually meet him there, and then we followed each other online, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then also with the Khosla Ventures, when I met Vinod, I think is how you say it. My friend had worked for the company, and they have a pretty small, company in Palo Alto. She invited me to the holiday party, and he was so humble and so sweet, and so I like to hang out with these type of people to see, how they act, what are their mannerisms, what are the habits that they're doing. So he made sure to go to every single table at the holiday party and introduce himself to the guests, say hi to all of his employees, and just was extremely sweet. And at the end of the night, everyone's dancing, we're in the photo booth. So, me and him got in the photo booth, and it was actually like a flip booth thing. It was really cool. That's pretty exciting. So the third thing was really to follow people and share their products. So what I've done recently, I've just been sharing because I love to give value, and I love knowledge, and I love sharing knowledge. So what I've been doing is just sharing a lot of people that I look up to, whatever their craft is, if it's, nutrition or fitness or relationships. I do business, but I'm launching a lifestyle education platform. as well as business tips. So, that also adds value to my audience. It helps me with the membership site and getting experts on the calls. But what I've been doing is, if they post a really nice video or a good quote or some great package, I'll share that on my social media, on my Instagram stories and my Facebook. And then, they'll notice it, and then they'll a lot of times shout me out again on their Instagram stories. And so one of the examples was Steven Speaks. He's a relationships coach, and he has over 1 million followers on Instagram. And so with that, I had refollowed one of his, or I'd reposted one of his bundles that he had because I read one of his books, and it was so amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is spot on. So I mentioned it in my post, and then he reposted it. And after he had reposted it, I'd gotten, a handful, dozens more followers because of that, because he has, 1 million views or 1 million people following him. So out of that 1 million, there's going to be some people interested in, like, who's this girl sharing his stuff, right? So those are the 3 tips. Hey, Mary. So those are the 3 tips for today on growing your circle of influence, and just how important it is to have a network of people that are going to help push you forward, to, get you inspired and to stay motivated. Because, as an entrepreneur, you really have to be self-motivated. And so when you have these types of people around you that are, they're, doing their thing, they're growing, you can see them, online doing videos, doing promotions, that drives you to, want to also do it. So I hope that you guys got some good golden nuggets from this video, and really take some time to think about who you can, connect with that will help you grow your circle of influence. All right, so have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. All right, take care.